start doing this because, you know, whether it fails or not, I got to say I at least tried. And I heard this, and I'm like thinking, cool, that's a sign I probably should get started. And people at work that I'm good friends with, they were encouraging me to do it. And then at night, my wife had me listen to the Steve Harvey segment after Family Feud, where he like has his 10-minute rant or, you know, positive thing that he says after the show. And he was talking about you need to jump and do stuff you've always wanted to do or something you feel like you're talented at. And, you know, I was like, man, that's a sign. I got to start this. So I get on this website. It's real cheap to do your podcast and send it out. You can even do live shows. I tried to do a live show last weekend, and it was fun. I raced it because it had, you know, workplace names and people's last names and stuff. And I don't want to embarrass anybody. You don't want to put anybody's name out there that you didn't ask permission for. So I erased it. I mean, my buddies listened to it, and they liked it and stuff. But I'd really like to be a little more professional with it and make sure I can edit stuff. I mean, I might do live events and stuff like that, but, you know, I'm hoping to just have funny or informative conversations with friends of mine. So the Spreaker website it's https://www.spreaker.com//VDUB41jobs. So that's the Spreaker URL address, and you can go right to my recording. So that's a good way to do it. And my email is hearhim41jobs@yahoo.com. So it's HEARHIM 41, the number 41, jobs at yahoo.com. So you can email me. You got some ideas or complaints, you think it's boring or whatever, you know, let me know. And I love to talk to anybody. So if you've got some interesting background or interesting knowledge about stuff or interesting experiences at work or your life, maybe we can get you on. And, you know, it'd be great. So I'd love to hear from you. And I've never really been a big social media guy until now, but I found out, did some research the last couple of years on podcasting, and you have to really give your name out so people go listen to you. So you can get a, you know, big audience and stuff. So I had to get on Facebook again. So I put my name on Facebook, VW Jobs, VDUBIU space JOBS, and that's Facebook. I did have the, you know, the website address here, but I lost it. But you can easily get on there, or like I said, the Spreaker.com address, and it's SPREAKER, and you could just type in 41 jobs. You could find my recordings. I mean, I this is my first one, so it'll be on. The other one I raced, like I said, it was live. I was taking callers. I had my iPhone stuck on the side of the mic so people could hear me. It was just, you know, outrageous. I was just trying to do it real quick, but it was fun. It was a blast. I'd like to do more live, but you never know what you're going to get. And, you know, you just hope you don't embarrass anybody or get sued or say something stupid and get in trouble. But the neat thing about it is you can take, people can chat with you on the computer, and you can get their questions and responses and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. So hopefully we'll enjoy the conversation with my buddy AJ. I've been a friend with him since kindergarten, and we went to high school together. After our freshman year of college, we ended up going to the same college together, and we still talk to this day. So he's my best friend, and we have a lot of good talks about stuff on the phone. We've talked for years, and I wish I could have recorded all the conversations we've had because they're just outstanding, other than the, you know, the private family stuff we talk about, politics and complain about life, and, you know, teaching, because we're both teachers, and complain about the future and money and what we think the world's coming to and all that stuff. But it's good to release that stuff because, I mean, it's all negative, and you don't want to really think about it. But, you know, it's stuff you got to talk about and stuff people worry about. Like people in the 30s and 40s and 50s, you start to worry about retirement and life after, you know, work and your kids and what they're going to have to deal with in society. So you feel like you could complain so you hope you make, you know, good decisions so they have a better world to live in. And okay, this first podcast is brought to you by Matt's Music. A good buddy of mine's got a virtual DJ karaoke company that he'll go to bars and weddings or any event and spin songs from the virtual DJ or do karaoke for anybody. Just let Matt know. It's Matt's Music Incorporated at 765-243-1260. So give him a call, and he'll help you out. He's a good dude. He does a good job, has a good time, and eventually we're all good singers. That's the motto of Matt's Music. It's got a nice little bottle of hard liquor there. So eventually we're all good singers. So if you have enough in you, I think you'll get up there and sing about anything. It doesn't take anything to get me to sing. I'll do karaoke anytime, any place. So hopefully I get to do a live event with Matt's Music sometime at a bar. He's doing it. He's actually got one tonight. So by the time you hear this podcast, it'll be too late to go. But he's doing an event at Rebels Pub in Marion, Indiana tonight. So he's probably doing this right now. So check him out. Matt's Music, 765-243-1260. All right, enough for the messages. It's time to give my buddy AJ a call. Talk about that conspiracy theory about water and oil and whatever else we can get into. All right, AJ, what's up, buddy?
Not much. What's up? What's happening?
Not much. Just doing this podcast thing. So I just wanted to. I got your message that check out that geoengineering thing about the drought in California, and I was talking about this earlier about I guess it's this Dane Wigington's got. Oh my gosh, he's got 15 or 16 videos out of different things that the environment or the government's doing to the environment or the environment's making a drought in California, and there's all kinds of other stuff. The guy said he was off the grid and trying to get solar power, and this chemical was blocking his solar power, and I was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
It's nuts. I don't know. What's one thing about water that scares you that you thought that was kind of interesting that you've heard in the last year or so?
Well, water's a pretty big deal, you know.
Yeah.
I had a buddy about 18 years ago, and he out of college. He started selling water things to purify water, like systems, and they were like $2,500 systems that he sold. And it didn't go over real big, 20 years ago because everybody's kind of happy with their water, But now you start hearing about the stuff from Flint, Michigan, and you got the lead in the water. And just the other day, I saw a picture of people were comparing Flint's water to another city's water, and it was ridiculous. Water shouldn't come out of the spigot looking like a soda.
Yeah.
It's not coffee.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they got me thinking, man, this water thing is in the grand scheme of the world, water is maybe the most valuable resource, and I'm not a genius, but most things that are most valuable normally go up in price, and things that go up in price and they're most valuable, people need to own or be able to purchase.
Yeah.
Especially water, because you have to have it to live. So I did some research on drought, and and looking at where are some of the world's worst droughts, and obviously there's one in California, obviously for over the last 3 or 4 years, and then there's the obvious ones which everybody knows about. Everybody knows that over in the Middle East, some days it's 120, 130, maybe 140 degrees over there. So they obviously have some issues with rainfall and water and those types of things. So you start thinking about what happens when all these countries run out of water. Everybody for so long thought it was oil. Oil's the one that if you run out of oil, how are you going to be able to run your tanks? How are you going to be able to run all this stuff? But I'm not so sure anymore that oil is, with our technology, I kind of feel like the need for oil is drastically going down. So then, what's next? Water, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you look at just the California drought, and you're like, wow, this is incredible. Number one, California is like, they're the largest grower of fruits and vegetables in the world. I mean, that's where most of the produce we purchase comes from. It comes from Southern California. So apparently, the drought, the last 3 or 4 years to go through a drought, and, I started thinking about, well, that's not good. You think farmers are going to go bankrupt, right?
Yeah.
But if you're a farmer, are you just going to sit there and go bankrupt? No. You're just going to say, hey, man, no rain. Looks like I can't farm anymore. So what these guys have done is they started drilling deep down into the earth, and there are companies that do it. And it's like, it costs like $250,000 to $500,000 to drill one well. What they do is they just drill into the aqueduct, where the water's at in the earth, and they pump it out. The problem with that is, as you remove water that they're finding, once they pump the water straight out of the earth like that to water the crops, what they're finding is the earth is sinking. If you can believe, California is sinking. So that's one of the things. There's a business behind water. And so I started, reading and researching, what's causing the drought. And last year, I was just on the internet. I saw a satellite feed from I don't know if it's a space shuttle or some guy up in the space station who was commenting about how there seemed to be some sort of force field around the coast of California that, the clouds would move in, then all of a sudden they would disappear all up and down the coast of Florida. I was like, well, that's weird, right? I mean, that's not
scary.
Normal. That's something new, right? Like, the clouds are coming, and then all of a sudden they evaporate and go away, and obviously rain doesn't. There's no evaporation or condensation to create rain over California. So then you mentioned Dane Wigington and that. And his thoughts on that, and it was, he had a lot of stuff on how military planes are spreading particles or whatever out on the coast or whatever.
Yeah.
And and he had video out there and like particles of aluminum up in the air and how some of that, what that stuff was first designed for was to help with global warming, to help cool the Pacific, because basically what they wanted to do was according to him, what they wanted to do was to create a layer of clouds that would cause the sun's heat to reflect and not heat the ocean. Right. And that kind of makes sense. And the problem is that apparently it's kind of done the opposite. It's locked heat in, and the heat that's being locked in is forcing the clouds to go elsewhere, if that makes sense. So
yeah,
they're kind of going north.
It's kind of a real negative. They're trying to make it positive, and it's actually making probably it worse from what they're trying to do. Right.
So I was like, well, that really stinks. Then he went on, and it's so weird. In the last, 20, I'm going to guess 20 years, 25 years, the increase of autism, and it was either dementia or Alzheimer's, I forget, has increased in that region. Like it's went up, and some